shake out. Now, we do have to remind you, the agent selection's a little wonky. So you see those T1 names on the right side, you see the dig names on the left side, and that's going to be switched up. So in-game is different than the lobby and the agent selection here, so don't mind any of that as we are looking to get underway. It's been a while since T1 have played, and Dignitas trying to keep this reign over T1 going with the changes being made, and it's looking like not necessarily a mirrored matchup. The Sentinels
very close,
are going to be swapped up, and I love to see this. I love to get inside the minds of who's better right now. Between the Cypher and the Killjoy, they both got crazy changes, and we're seeing exactly where these teams like to favor.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're a Dignitas right now, you're Dig, you want that information. You want to try to get as much information as you can, and with the Sova, Omen, and Cypher on there, that's as much information gathering as you can have in any comp. But the great thing about Killjoy, especially if you're starting off as the attacker, Killjoy can just lock down a zone. So if you play aggressive and you set up inside, you know, if you go B, go A, and set up in there, she can just lock off that hole, making retakes so much more difficult. Then whenever they get on defense, it's so much harder with her utility to get into a site and take it over. So I do love the Killjoy play. It's going to be interesting to see, is it going to be information versus just straight up control? We're going to see which one pays off for him.
We are going to see which one pays off as that timer ticks down and we load in. It is map number 1 of the closed qualifiers here for First Strike, presented by UMG Gaming. It is T1 facing off against Dignitas. T1 will be mounting their defense to get started, and Dignitas will be on the attack. We have seen time and time again on this map, it's been both ways. It's gone attacker-sided for some teams. It's gone defense-sided. And now we get to see how these two teams like to play. Now we get to see how these two titans like to play it.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see the approach right here. It looks like they're going to go for that split C push, go long C, and then go through garage, try to get control over garage. You know, I really love, it's so hard to push onto A site in this, especially if you have somebody peeking long A, and then you can rotate from B over to defend that and lock it down. And it's easier to retake A too. If you can lock down C, and if you can lock down the garage, then you have control over that. So I love seeing T1 come out, or Dignitas come out in the beginning and really kind of push on this C site first.
Yeah, and it does look like we are in a pause. I believe the rules are going to be the same. You're going to have your technical pauses, which just will happen historically. There's no stopping it. But then each team will be allotted one tactical pause. And I don't think this is a tactical pause. You just start the game. You had so much time to get started. We waited here and we covered for however long to get the lobbies filled. And then you take a tactical pause. But each team will be allotted 30 tactical pause throughout the game just to slow things down, maybe try and steal some of that momentum, freeze or ice the kicker a little bit, and get things back under control. This one, I'm assuming connection issues, as it looks like everybody's running around, maybe something on Discord's end or just high ping. Okay, so it is a communications issue, and we ran into this a whole bunch last week. Discord or TeamSpeak, whatever it may be, just obviously you need to be able to talk to each other.
Yeah, it's kind of important. You know, obviously it's important for us to be able to talk to each other, but for the teams it might be even more important, I think. I mean, communication is key. So like if we have to wait and we have to fill just a little bit longer, it's okay. I don't mind. I like talking a lot and I love hearing the sound of my voice, so it works perfectly for me.
Yeah, but we are ready to get underway as that recon bolt comes through. Turret down. Gonna try and stop a push through mid as well. And a recon bolt should be answered over towards this C side. First kill gonna come down. That Spyder on top of it all. Gonna kick things off here in the close qualifiers with a kill on the imposter. He's gonna be traded back, but it's red for 2. And it's even across the board. But as I say, that's Skadoodle trying to make sure T1 grabs his first round. He's gonna stop the spike from going down. And now Psalm all by his lonesome on this C site. Needs to get to the spike and get it down in a 1v3. It's doable, but it's pretty improbable.
I mean, that's a rough start. I mean, to lose the pistol round is obviously, that's a huge loss right there anytime. But I like seeing them attack, but T1 did a great job of rotating as soon as they knew where they were attacking. As soon as they knew it was C site, they moved over there. They got over there really quick. And Skadoodle getting that kill right there and just getting those picks right on that before they can plant the spike and get a little bit of extra cash to help their economy out. That's right there is absolutely huge for Skadoodle to get that kill.
Yeah, that is, like you said, even if you lose that round, you get that spike down, you get a bit of extra credits, maybe look for a force. Now we're gonna see that standard hey, you should buy out. I'm going to stick with the Ghost across the board for T1. Dignitas, I believe they had one Sheriff in the hands here of Orderus, who is going to lead the charge now, spear tipping towards this A site. And it was 5 members on the map. Spyder going to take down Supamen and again finds the imposter, this time down C long, so no way to peek that as one gets tagged out. Now the rotations have come through. The alarm bot down as well. And you see the sight lines. There's just no way in. And it's a pistol round. You're expecting this one to go the way of T1. But at the very least, you'd like to pick up something. And then you see the firing squad set up on A. And it deters that push for now as all 4 look to rotate away. The spike still hovering. I can't imagine. Maybe that Killjoy over there just lurking for a bit of information to see if they do rotate off, as they will have the rear covered. Now the dart goes out, the dash comes through, and unfortunately this B site is open, and you wish you had the spike at this point as Spyder finds another.
T1's just doing an incredible job of saying, this is the defense we want to play. These are the angles we're going to hold, and we're going to do nothing but this. I mean, look, communication is key, like we talked about, but having a plan before you even start is absolutely important. And they are playing their game plan perfectly, how they want to play it, with locking down C, locking down A, and being able to rotate to B whenever they need to. Incredible job by T1 on defense there. There was just nothing Dig could do to get into A.
Yeah, and it was like playing their own game, right? Sure, it's an eco round, and sure, you could play aggressive, you could do whatever you want, but then you risk throwing that round away. So instead, they hold steady. They plant their feet on their sights. They didn't move. One kill did come through. I think it was onto to brax there on that A site towards short, and doesn't do too much to the economy. That Cypher, I believe, only on the Ghost in that last round as well. So sitting pretty. We now have Ska with the operator for round number 3. And when you pick up rifles on Dignitas, you're thinking, hey, I'm okay. This is going to be a good round for us. And it easily could be flipped upside down by the operator.
Absolutely. Well, especially when it's Skadoodle. Now, the important thing is, which one are we going to get today? Which Skadoodle are we going to get today? Are we going to get the on-point Skadoodle? Or are we going to get the just barely missing Skadoodle? Because he can be one of the best op players that we've ever seen, but he can also be incredibly inconsistent with it, as AZK gets the kill right there on Orderus. I mean, it could be the game changer right there and give T1 a little bit of an advantage moving forward for sure.
Yep, as dephh is able to trade one back, they look for another. This one onto brax. dephh goes good for 2, and there's the Skadoodle Bob to come out. We were wondering which one we were going to get, and that answers our question, as another shot misses, and he's going to get run down. Now it's 62 HP, but it's a shock dart to finish him off. Skadoodle, 2 huge misses. In round number 3, looking to go the way of Dignitas. They have 4 alive, 2 are low HP, and Spyder trying to do what he can. He jumps on in, the paranoia. They don't even spot him. Saw him. Goes down. It's 2 in response, but Supamen finally able to strike back and get a kill on his counterpart. So that direct matchup is 2-1 in favor of Spyder. Well, what a round by Dignitas. And it's almost, did Dignitas win that round, or did T1 just let it go? Skadoodle with 2 huge missed shots.
Yeah, I mean, you can't miss those shots. If you're going to buy the op that early and trash your economy so early on, if you lose that op in the 3rd round, then that's going to take a while to come back. You got to eco so much to come back from that. And now it's not going to be a full buy for the team, because Skadoodle's going to have to go out and do a light buy. Like that's what you have to hit, those 2 shots. If he hits those 2 shots, it completely changes that for Dignitas. But T1, I mean, that's rough. Like that, to me, this puts them behind just a little bit, because now Dig's going to have a little bit of the economic advantage moving forward for the next few rounds at least.
Yeah, and that op in round 3, like you said, the economy, it hurts so much. And to toss it over for free, as dephh going to be the first one to open things up once more. It is on Skadoodle, and the buys are there, so T1 should be able to pull something together here in this round, as the blaze stops the paranoia. Psalm finds another, and this newly revised Dignitas roster bringing it back here, looking to tie things up with that spike plant. It is a 3v5. It is still winnable, but with that economy across the board, it might just be a T1 save, as they're already hanging out over on the attacker-sided spawn. That turret not going to spot too much, and it looks like Dignitas looking to go on the hunt here. Spot went out because of the turret. Orderus going to try and peek up nice and slow. He's got the pings, but he might walk into a crossfire, and he lands the shot. That's the first op shot of the day. 1 of 3 for both of these teams, but it's 100% landing percentage for Dignitas as they look to find themselves another round.
I mean, it's better 100% than 0% from what we've seen so far from T1. Like, great kill there by Som getting dazed. But again, like right now, you're correct. That T1 should have just run. They should have just tried to save. It's not much you can do when you have an entire team hunting you down. But at least they had a little bit of a cushion. It's 2-2 now. Economy is looking okay. Obviously, it's a little bit in Dig's favor right now. This is going to be a light buy for T1 moving forward. So again, Dig's going to have the gun advantage in this round. They're going to have the economic advantage in the next round. So for the next few rounds, really what it comes down to is T1's just got to make some plays. Even though they're at a disadvantage, they have to make plays over these next couple of rounds, or else it could start to snowball for Dig.
Yeah, and now Valorant, I would say Valorant, but more importantly, this broadcast, this channel has been the channel of thrifty victory. So it's very possible that we see that. It just gets a bit harder when DaZeD is now out of the question. And it's looking like an A hit might be in order here for Dignitas. So that spike is still down. We do have one watching that flank. supamen going to be hanging out, making sure nobody is pushing on through C, and a turret as well. So the flank completely covered here. But once they push onto A site, they may just have to reposition that turret for this Killjoy.
Here.
But it is still a tall task. It's 2 members on this A site. 3 still hovering on this side, and the spike still down. Now, there's a minute on the clock, so there's still quite a bit of time for this squad to figure out what they want to do. And with the man down, you could almost expect B is open, and you're splitting these sites, playing retake, which it has been retake for the entirety of the game here for T1. And now we are seeing that stack. You're going to see them pushing up here through short. Going to clear their angles this time around. The flash looking to go out here. Sheriff shots, paranoia. Orderus going to find the first. That's with a frenzy in hand. The sheriff shot's not enough to find more than one for Spyder. It is now a 3v2. Both run it backs are available, but both members for T1 on the opposite side of the map. And at this point, I think you're on that eco. You just got to send it, because you definitely want that loss bonus. Brax, he's probably good to save that Phantom. But as far as the loss bonus goes, maybe Phoenix, you just go and see what you can get. You'd rather take, obviously, the extra credits over the 1,000 that you would get with that spike being planted on defense.
Yeah, I mean, at this point right now, they both got pistols. At this point, I'd see if I could go get a pick, maybe get one force somebody to drop a gun, get a little bit of extra cash yourself, see if you can get a pick. But yeah, definitely take the loss bonus here. One thing Dig has done a really good job of, whenever I watched them recently in wins and in losses, is they just do a really good job, especially Supa, on that lurk. And so they trying to get his he has been on point so many times with his paranoias, with just gathering information, just using that to control the other team. And so whenever he lurks, he just gets all the info that he can get. And it just not just protecting the flank, but making sure that he clears out for his team as he goes through. And again, it proves it right there. They realized that A was clear. They can go in and make a hard split push on A. The great paranoia that you saw there, they take control of A, and it made an impossible retake with only 2 people left for T1.
And now we see no armor on AZK. Should be able to use that, run it back, and it looks like he's going to send it up towards short A. Solemn going to answer in response to the run it back of his own, trying to clear out this C side as that paranoia goes through. Not going to get any value, but they should spot one in the back, and that's as much value as you could ask for with your Phoenix ultimate. Now this C side has since been opened up, but brax on the flank. The lurk coming out through B. They were expecting B to be clear, and Skadoodle is able to land a shot. It is now a man advantage in favor of T1 as that spike looks to get planted. Not a very safe plant. And it's going to be the operator stuck in that corner. AZK is able to find one, not getting anything with the ult, but instead just the 100 health. Orderus able to take down the operator. It's Jett v Jett action, and Dignitas comes out on top. But now it's all up to the op, but DaZeD goes good for 2. It's a wallbang headshot, and it's a round to go back in favor of T1 as we are knotted up at 3.
That was a great play by DaZeD. I mean, the last thing you want is if your op player gets his op taken away, you don't want them to keep yours. So that was a great job by DaZeD. They did a good job of they put pressure on, but then they knew where to stop. They knew to stay there. They knew that their pressure right there was enough. They had him cornered. And so DaZeD getting the kill right there at the end on Orderus, and on who was the last one that he killed? Was it dephh and Orderus right at the end? I believe it was dephh and Orderus getting that double right there, but forcing Orderus to drop that op and then rebuy is huge. It's huge for T1.
Yeah, 100%. And the economy's looking good, but that's for the rest of the team, right? Somebody would have to eventually drop him and then take that hit to their economy as damage actually traded out towards mid. Quite a bit of damage there on that Dignitas Omen. Unfortunately, Superman going to be low on HP as they look to push in somewhere. The B hit now to come through, right? They're expecting B to be open, but instead it's DaZeD here playing on this side. And Skadoodle through the smoke finds Psalm. A huge pick to kick things off and make it another. He makes up for the missed shots before with 2 in response. And now T1 in the driver's seat here for round number 7. Superman has the spike in hand and the ultimate queued up. I thought maybe looking to go to another site, but there's just nowhere to go. Orderus is able to trade it back. That's up for up, but dephh on the A site lurking is able to pick that one up. The ultimate from the shadows comes through, and now this A site is wide open. That spike's gonna be planted, and a round that was very winnable for T1, it just starts to fall apart.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough retake. You know, I like seeing the lurk over there, but now rotating back towards A site as T1's trying to retake this, but this is going to be tough. I mean, Orderus has been hitting those shots. I love seeing Skadoodle come on and hit some of his shots, but Orderus has been right there too. So let's see what they can do. Let's see if they can split this and retake the site right here.
Yeah, it's low HP on 2, so very doable, even being a man down here, but they're running out of time, and they are just going to opt into the save. 46 HP on that operator, but they do not want to peek it, and it will be Dignitas reclaiming their lead here. And again, hindsight 2020, we obviously have that aerial view. We see all the angles. We see everything as a whole. But I mean, just look at the health bars alone. That's a very winnable round for this T1 roster. Now they got to go back to the drawing board. They save a couple of guns, and we got to take a peek at the replay. This is Ska going huge for 2 kills. Unfortunately, MAKKA there just not able to get away. And then that's where it all started to fall apart, and Dignitas were able to pick up that round. Now, the economy, it's not great. You're able to save some guns. You've got an operator back in the hands of Skadoodle, but with a sheriff and a frenzy, it is a little bit of a yard sale by DaZeD and Spyder on their way home. They saw something. It was a garage sale, and they just went and picked up what they could. And now we'll have to see if that's enough to string together a round win as that Hunter's Fury comes through. And not a whole lot answered with that one.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit early for the Hunter's Fury. You know, some people like to use it as soon as they get it, right as the round starts, to get as much info as you can. But I like to wait on it a little bit. Wait until you really need to get that info. And so missing it can be a huge detriment to the team, especially because of how great it is. It's not a huge deal. You know, looking at the economy of T1, that's why I'm okay with them backing off and saving at the end of the last round. Like, yeah, it was winnable. They could have pushed that a little bit, but I do like seeing them back off because that's going to help them out moving forward in the next couple of rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. A bigger picture, right? It is a marathon, not a sprint here as the spray comes through. There's the frenzy coming online, and brax is able to go good for 1 as well. DaZeD picks up 2 with the frenzy. And now it's all down to the Sova, and as I say that, he gets sat down. Skadoodle finds another shot onto MAKKA there, and it is a flawless round. And that was the round I was trash talking about their weapons, and they go huge. It wasn't the Spectre, it wasn't the Phantom, it wasn't the Vandal, it was the Frenzy, and then the off follow. What a huge round by DaZeD, and that's exactly why you see him creeping up towards the top of that leaderboard. Another name to put up there is Spyder. He had the lowest average combat score, but he's right there in the middle of the pack, so you can't ask for too much more from your smokes player.
And now look at the economy of the 2 teams, where we were talking about just a round 2 rounds ago. Oh, T1, what are they going to do? How can they get this economy back? You win a round like that off a frenzy, and that immediately brings your economy back. That's why Valorant's so great. The thing that I love so much is just seeing how even these teams are on Haven so far. As Spyder getting Orderus, and then Superman getting Spyder off of that and getting the payback. But we're seeing how even these teams play this, and I'm interested to see in the second half kind of how they flip and their strategies on each of these. But I like seeing the aggressive play. I like seeing the pressure. And I think at the end of this, you know, we're going to watch a Haven between these 2 teams where I honestly don't know who's going to win this map.
Yeah, and this is exactly why we have the stats, right? You get to look at it and you see what makes these guys play this 50-50 as Psalm pushes up, able to find the kill onto brax. And brax has had quite a bit of value towards this B site, lurking down towards mid, down towards the grass area. Unfortunately, not going to be the case in this one as Dignitas, they haven't necessarily given up a lead. They've just been it's close, right? It's tie game, then Dignitas grab a lead. It's tie game, then Dignitas grab a lead, and they are looking to do just that here. That Hunter Shuri is available, so post-plant options for Dignitas. The Blade's available, but I'm assuming that we'll see that come out once Skadoodle's either put in a bad spot, being pushed on a site with the operator, or a save round to come through as that paranoia goes down. AZK completely blind as all 4 members look to take the site. The Blaze comes out, the spray comes down. It's not enough, and he will burn up in flames. The Phoenix v Phoenix action with Psalm on top. Now a 2v4, and we very well could see another save coming out from T1.
Yeah, I mean, save right here, especially with Skadoodle having that op right there. You don't want to lose that. We just talked about how they brought their economy back. They're in a good place right now. And so to me, this is just a save. Just give Dig the lead again. You can pull it back. I mean, worst case scenario, you're down 5-4. You still have a chance to go up. You could leave the first half of this map. It's still 6-6. That's still a possibility. And so for me, it's just back off, save, play it safe.
As Dignitas find themselves with another victory, with another lead here, going down the first 2 rounds, I believe it was. So able to battle back and really make up for that piss round and that bonus round, quote unquote, that follow-on round that comes through, and typically goes the way of the team does pick up round 1. But if we're sticking to the script, I'm expecting to see this round go in favor of T1, and there's that kill onto brax, and AZK just barely missing out. So I'm able to step behind the boxes on A site and then re-peek. And unfortunately, when you're Phoenix, the enemy Phoenix's flames, they don't heal you.
Now, here's an interesting decision. Orderus decided to go with the Spectre instead of going with another op. And so I wonder what the change in strategy is there. Orderus, I feel like, has been great on the op so far today, and the change kind of, that's kind of confusing to me.
It is interesting. We'll have to see if it pays off. Unfortunately, the only op here on the map now down on the ground, no longer in the hands of Skadoodle, and we're seeing that Phantom start to pay off. Unfortunately, caught with his pants down, caught with a smoke in his hand as Orderus will fall. brax looks for some more, but it's going to be trades across the board, and now Spyder able to grab 1. Needs to go good for even, but DaZeD is there, and DaZeD is good for 2. Time and time again, he has come clutch for this T1 squad. We are all tied up 5-5, inching closer to the inevitable 6-6 half here.
T1 needed that. I said Spectre. I meant Phantom. I mix those up all the time. You know what I meant. That's why you're so great, Tanner. You know what I meant. But yeah, no, I mean, it worked out for them in the beginning because it looked like Orderus wanted to get a little bit more aggressive, put a little bit more pressure on. Now, obviously, going back with the op and just choosing to buy a little bit lighter that last time. But T1. Days, I mean, that last round shows how closely matched these two teams are, where really either one of them can win at any time. Days just pulling out the clutch for his team.
Yep, and now we jump back into it. Orderus feeling confident to have this operator in hand, has the blades as well as they do that. So now has some options, doesn't necessarily have to play that long range game. Spyder mixing things up, playing on top of that tall box inside of garage. Catch somebody through, and Dignitas, it's been pretty quick moving into these sites, looking to make plays. Now have since slowed things down as they spot only 1 towards short. AZK, I believe, remained unspotted there. Now DaZeD looking for a bit of information and will fall a bit short. And I saw inside of the chat as this run it back is going to go out. Now, backside has typically been where Spyder is playing, so mixing up this angle has been huge. Now, 2 going to come right in, and that's the angle we were talking about. They go 2 for 2 across the board, and Spyder is still completely healthy. Neural Theft is available should brax want to use that one. And again, the blades have been queued up by Orderus here on this side. As this retake comes through, we have to pay attention. That Phoenix on a big flank all the way around, looking to get inside of garage. As 2 will push through, Orderus is going to find 1. Coming from the defender-sided spawn. Looking for another, but brax is able to trade it. It's still a 2v2 Psalm. He has the knife queued up, but he's not going to take it. Now, brax and Psalm will go toe-to-toe here on this C side. As the flashes come out, brax going to stick it halfway. Pros don't fake. He pulls off, and brax goes good for 3. He takes down Psalm, and he has the time. Bringing things back and finding themselves a lead here as we inch closer to the...
That was absolutely incredible by brax. That was a great play. Look, I'm glad he held off on. I'm glad he held off on using his ult right there, because on a 3v3 like that, you don't need to use your ult right there. I feel like he's in a good position. The team's in a good position with enough information. And so for me, it was a smart play, and it ended up paying off for them in the long run. Now T1 coming back a little bit. Now he's still got the neural theft. Now Dig has to come back. They've got the lead a little bit. I like the position that T1's in now, going towards switching around and switching up sides and going into the second half.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, especially when we've been seeing this default come out from Dignitas. That's just been a bit slower. Grab some information towards A. T1 since no longer giving up complete B control, not necessarily trying to play that retake, and I would imagine having an operator over towards that site. And I mean, hats off to Spyder. He's been able to hold C down as far as, as long as he's playing on the site itself, has been able to hold it down really well. So hats off to the Omen there for T1, as now we have a couple ultimates here to end the half. The Lockdown, the Hunter's Fury, and the From the Shadows for Dignitas. The Run It Back, the Blade Storm, and the Neural Theft from T1. So I think T1 might get a bit more value as that Run It Back is going to be used. DaZeD going to take the turret down and now look to push in, maybe catch something on the flank. DaZeD going to toss out the Recon Bolt, gets a bunch of information for his team, and sure, they might get locked down, but it doesn't matter. No, the lockdown actually gets destroyed by AZK, and Orderus finds two. It's a 3v3, but Orderus unfortunately did not walk out of his trade unscathed. He's low HP underneath Heaven. He's trying to go in for the wall bang. Skadoodle on the side has the play storm, but he's going to go wide, and it's the Spectre to pick up a couple of kills, and now it's all down to Spyder. It's the lowest average combat score in a 1v2 as the From the Shadows comes through. They spot one out. He knows one is short, and now he's playing against not only two members, but the clock itself. He spots one out. He takes down dephh. It's a 1v1. It's Omen v Omen, and Spyder has the HP advantage. He fakes the defuse. He waits for him to push to the smoke. He jumps in. He's going to be taken down, and the script, it's just writing itself right here. 6-6. These teams are 50-50 on this map, and it could not be any more apparent.
I get the aggression by Spyder there, but he had the position. He had the health advantage. I know he needed to make a play, and he needed to make a play so he has a chance to defuse, but man, that's just a tough loss right there. When Superman, a great play by him to take down Spyder on that play. Imagine being Superman in that spot when you're in the smoke and all of a sudden you just have a jumping Omen dive in front of you and you just have to flick and get the headshot. Superman did that. Incredible play by both players, but these two teams, this is a fun map to watch them on because they were so well balanced on Haven. Now it's going to be interesting, now that we're switching sides, seeing how each team approaches it. Is T1 going to be a little bit more aggressive on the attack than Dignitas was? But it's going to be fun to watch and see how they approach this.
Yeah, and Dignitas looking to keep the aggression up. You see how far forward Orderus is pushed here with the Frenzy in hand, and not able to get a kill, but able to grab some damage down onto Spyder. As Day is going to be holding window, make sure nobody comes on through. And since that quiet little play over towards A lobby, it's actually forced a full rotation off of this A site. Should brax be able to find a kill here, it may just be that take, but it's all quiet on the Western front. And these kind of rounds, they make you just want to whisper. As Orderus spots one out, lobby is clear. Brax is not. He's going to be taken down. That camera obviously going to be disabled and no longer useful. And that health advantage, it hurts. It hurts a whole lot more now. T1 have not only a man down, but Spyder, if you just look at him, you're right-clicking from downtown, he's going to fall. So Dignitas definitely in the driver's seat as it looks like C going to be the play. Skadoodle going to dash on in the turret. Going to fire off some shots. Hands go down. Going to pick up a couple back and forth, but it's blue 4-2, and now it's all up to DaZeD, who's been clutch before, but it's a 1v4. It's a 3K for dephh, and it's Dignitas to find the pistol round.
Yeah, I like seeing the aggressive defense from Dig early on, and Dignitas really it seemed like they were doing a good job of rotating while T1 couldn't decide where they wanted to go. Did they want to go A? Then did they want to go mid? And then eventually they decided to make a long C push without getting garage control, and that just all that did was allow Dignitas enough time to rotate back over to C and help the team out, and you just saw them take them down one right after the other. It's tough to make a real hard full team push down long C like that because it's really just a shooting alley, right? And so it's like shooting fish in a barrel. You have that one little cubby that you can back off in, but it's hard to be aggressive from there without getting control from the garage. So I love seeing Dignitas get their health down a little bit early and be aggressive starting out, because it kind of put T1 on their heels and took them off of their game plan.
Yeah, you don't get to play slow when Dignitas just pushes the pace, and I think that's something that it it really sets a precedence, and we kind of see some of these top teams looking to play that way, where they force a team to play their style of game. You don't get a chance to play the T1 way. You're forced to play the we have to react to Dignitas way. And so I think Dignitas doing a solid job at that, as they should find themselves another round win. But at the very least, T1 can look to hurt the economy a bit. You know, maybe take some of these Spectres away as the Molotovs go down. The turret kill going to come through, and dephh will find another, this time with his rifle. Ooh, almost a third, but MAKKA going to steal that away. So it's 2 for 2 across the board for the Sova and the Killjoy. Now it's all up to Spyder. It's the last inch of flawless, but that one, we're just going to sweep that under the rug. Nobody died, so it may just be Spectres across the board unless we see an operator come out for Orderus. But now we're going to see T1 with those rifles in hand on attack.
Yeah, I mean, T1 kind of has to force it right here. I mean, you want to have the gun advantage. You already lost these last two. You need to make a good push. You need to have some kind of advantage right here. So why not force it? But Dig right now, I mean, I think you said it best. They're forcing T1 to play their game plan with that while they're on defense right now, and they're forcing to play at their pace. And that's what you want to do, is any advantage that you can get and force another team to play your style. That in any game, whatever it is, but especially in Valorant, if you can be the aggressor and you can force them to kind of react to you, then you have all the control.
Careful now.
All right, Brax looking right here. It looks like a little peak. We might have a few microphone technical difficulties, so it's going to be me solo until Tanner comes back. MAKKA right here. Honestly, it looks like Dignitas has a great setup on defense right here, and it looks like we're going to see another C push by the majority of the team by T1. They're peeking down long C. Tanner, are you here? Are you back with me?
I think so.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do.
I apologize. Technical difficulty on my end. And now me jumping back in, getting refreshed on this round. It's a 3v3 as we are waiting for this spike to make a play. And it looks like Skadoodle wants to play up towards B. It's historically been retake here. But as the smokes go through, the cage comes down. The Molotov is answered. That nano swarm in on the flank. dephh will go, but unfortunately, it is to no avail as AZK was waiting for that one. Now Psalm trying to creep up. That spike has since been planted. And now the post plant towards mid. This is a good spot for T1 to be in, but there's a lot of angles you have to check. If not on the site, it's from C, it's from A, it's from mid, it's creeping up into window. There are a whole lot of options for Dignitas as they do find one kill. Brax able to trade it now from headshot, and it's a 1v1. It's very low HP on Psalm, and he's caught reloading as Skadoodle goes huge to grab around there. That's the first buy round. That's absolutely huge. Now we'll see a buy round in response. And for Dignitas, they hurt the economy a little bit. Finding all of those kills means we might not get full armors. We might not get full rifles for T1. So although winning that round, still kind of on the back foot as you see those guns for Dignitas.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough play right there. I obviously saw him making a couple of good plays, but to be caught reloading right there, right out in the open, it's tough. Great play by Skadoodle to know that he needed to push right in that moment, get in there on B site, and he knew that either he was going to catch him out of position or he was going to catch him reloading. So Skadoodle making a good play. It looks like we're seeing the other Skadoodle. We're seeing the consistent Skadoodle today, not the inconsistent one. So good plays by Skadoodle all around, definitely right there to take that out and clutch it for his team.
Joke's over.
Yeah, and now not that it's been an easy run for Dignitas, but they've had a few more games under their belt to play together. T1, they've been on the sidelines for a bit, qualifying X amount of time ago. So maybe coming into this one a bit more cold when it comes to that competitive edge that you get from playing as those shock darts. They don't make that plant very safe. So DaZeD is able to walk away from that one for now. But it was a free take onto A, and now it's going to be a 5v5 retake here from this Dignitas squad. Now the defender's working against the time as the spike has been planted. They're going to try and clear things out over towards mid. That Killjoy ultimate coming down. We see that zoom in. All 10 members here on your mini map pushing towards C. That Killjoy trying to push everybody away. They know one in the back corner, but Spyder's going to find the kill, and that's all you can ask for your one lone soldier on this C site. Now the spike planted for long. That op shot gonna go wide. The nerfs pay off huge for T1, but they're not out of the woodworks just yet. Psalm on the flank goes good for 2, and now Skadoodle has to stop the planter. He right clicks and misses, and supamen goes from Superman to Superstar as he takes down Skadoodle, and he has the defuse, and it's 0.16 second more than he needs.
The one thing that I've seen from Superman, every time we've seen him in a clutch moment at the end of a round, he never ever stresses. It doesn't seem like he fidgets. It doesn't seem like he makes any bad decisions. He waits, he's calm, and then he ends up pulling out the kill for his team. Incredible job there getting Skadoodle after he had already ulted. I mean, we saw earlier him taking out Spyder when Spyder jumps in and had the health advantage. So Superman doing an incredible job of pulling out the end of these rounds for his team. What I'd like to see a little bit more from T1 in a moment like that is just, you know, we talked about it. They've had more time together. They've had time to play together. They know the communication between each other. So I'd like to see a little bit more communication after the attack. That, you know, that was going to be a tough retake for Dignitas. You plant the spike. Go ahead and set up in the right spots and start communicating with each other. It looked like they had a rough game plan as dephh and MAKKA take out two T1s right there, back to back. This is already going to be a tough round for T1.
Yeah, a very tough round, and this all started with that round 3 where they have the rifles. Sure, they win the round, but so many members die that the economy is just completely shattered. As you see, the bodies just starting to drop. Sure, the spike went down, so they will grab that defuse, and they're gonna hand it on over. Okay, maybe look to pass it elsewhere. I'd say the Hunter's Fury is already available, so might be a little greedy to pick that one up. But Dignitas back once more in the driver's seat. That was a save from T1, so we might see them be on a bye here in this next one. But it's looking grim. It is looking very grim, because even when they start to battle back with those rifles, Dignitas just find a way to, you know, if they don't win the round, they win the economy. They hurt the economy, and they're sitting pretty. So the next couple of rounds should look pretty good as far as the guns go for Dignitas. T1 might not be able to say the same thing after this, as it's only been one round win here in this half. Dignitas, they only need a few more to close it out.
I mean, this might be the map right here. If T1 doesn't win this round, then their economy is going to be shot. They're not going to be able to have a full buy in the next round. It's going to be incredibly difficult to come back being at that much of a disadvantage, as Orderus takes out Spyder early on with the op shot. Like, if T1 doesn't win this now, this might be the map.
Yep, the economy definitely not boding very well for T1, as Skadoodle finds himself on low HP, and T1 find themselves a man down. That Hunter's Fury got quite a bit of value as that running back come through. Saw him looking for something. He's going to be taken down. Spots out the op, and the flank is there. They've got his body on ball. AZK now on the site, gonna fall from across the map, but with the spike down, Dignitas now have to move. MAKKA not gonna find the kill, but dephh will trade it back and forth across the board, but Ska goes big with an op shot to land. Now the remaining two off of this site looking to find their way on in. It's a Frenzy, an Operator, the Blade Storm, and 10 HP here for Orderus. They do have Superman creeping up as well. Paranoia gonna stop Skadoodle from seeing anything. They shut out the lights and they close it out. Now a Hunter's Fury available, but he's got to send it right now. He has to try and figure it out as the kill comes through. Now the next two shots to go target. He is gonna land it, and that's the clutch. DaZeD once more to find another huge clutch for this T1 squad. And as we said to start that round, possibly saving this game here. Everybody falling, but you get that win bonus, and those guns should be tossed out around the board. And Skadoodle only one pip away from that Blade Storm. So worst comes to worst, he'll have that in the next save round.
Incredible play by DaZeD right there. I mean, we've seen him do that for his team multiple times already in this match, but just the heads up play to pull back, knowing he had Hunter's Fury, waiting for them to try to defuse, and then the timing of that is so important, and getting it out there to get that double kill and clutch for his team and give them the round win. That was an incredibly important round for them to win, and for him to get that was huge. As Orderus takes out DaZeD, as I'm talking about how great he has been in late rounds, and Orderus taking out Spyder as well.
Yeah, speaking of huge, that's two huge kills. Once more to put T1 on the back foot, but brax looking to even the odds. Now buys a bit of attention into market, which makes long a pretty clear push, and the classic is just not enough. Brax will find another. Now Dignitas only on 2 remaining. It is MAKKA, it is dephh here. Looking to push up, gonna find one. Brax goes wide with the op shot. MAKKA able to find the headshot. Now even the odds, a 2v2. As Ska gonna push through, he is gonna get tagged. No Hunter's Fury available, but the lockdown is. The daggers go up top, and it's an op shot from dephh. The ops just won't stop in this game. Now the run it back is available, but AZK needs to come up here in a 1v2. Tossed out the flash, is gonna use that ultimate. Not gonna have the spray down just yet. His body will be sent back, and he's just gonna be pushed. He's just gonna be killed, and it's Dignitas for another 11 here as T1. Your backs are against the wall. It's not match point. You have a bit of breathing room, but you have to figure it out right here, right now.
dephh getting that shot and taking out Skadoodle was that saved the round and possibly saved the match. If T1 wins right there, and now they're only down 9-10 going towards the end of this match, they're starting to get momentum, they're starting to get money, and then they're starting to roll. dephh getting that op shot on Skadoodle may have saved the match for Dig. And it might have been one of the best shots that we've seen all day long. Incredible job by dephh, holding that out there and giving the advantage to Dig at the end of that round to be able to take that and then take the spike away.
Yeah, and I mean, Orderus, this is a name that we just can't get away from. He has been so huge here in this game, turning this 50% win rate into something so much more. As Skadoodle gonna push forward, the drone has MAKKA's attention as he will fall. So it's 1-for-1 traded across the board. Now the lockdown comes through, and Dignitas looking to clear out this site. Nobody gonna be able to push that one just yet. A Spyder goes on in. Supamen was queuing up the teleport, but cannot go as he is now 6 feet under. Storm on the flank. Orderus on the flank. Gonna find one, not gonna find two. The frenzies have been huge. The operators have been huge. And now Dignitas, if they want to be on match point, need to be huge as Psalm finds one with the Vandal in hand. He's gonna toss out the hot hands and will go for the defuse. It's Phoenix v Phoenix. Psalm now gonna peek, now gonna find the kill. It's a 3K, and he has the time. It is now match point for Dignitas. And I said it 1 round ago, but absolutely on the back foot is match T1. Point. Backs against the wall. They have to string 4 together in a row, and they have not been able to do that yet.
I mean, time and time again, what we've seen from Dignitas. So, we talked about these teams are so closely matched. What it really comes down to is multiple different players from Dig are making plays. And what did we talk about before this match started? They're so evenly balanced across the board. Any one of these guys can make a play at any time. Any one of these players can make a play at any time. You've seen Orderus pull it out. You've seen dephh pull it out. That time it was Psalm. And each one of these players has been able to come up clutch for their team in big moments. And that's the difference between the two of them right now, are those little things that Dig is doing really well in these moments and just getting those kills and making the right plays. Orderus taking out Skadoodle early right there. That already putting T1 on their heels just in this round. This is going to be tough. Let's see how T1 can attack now.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's exactly what you're talking about. It's those huge plays. And we highlighted it before this matchup. The combat score, you don't want to just look at kills, but that is what could set this team apart. When you have these pop-off moments, when you have these players that are just going to come up clutch, and Orderus is doing just that, as dephh will be sat on the C site, and Supamen gonna steal that angle away from Spyder earlier in the first half and grab a kill for himself. But with those kills traded back and forth, that early pick from Orderus still makes this a man down for T1. As Psalm pushes on in, the paranoia comes through. And that run it back will go right back to where it started. And Orderus from downtown is able to find Spyder. It's a 2v3, low HP. Brax still alive and has the neural theft. AZK is gonna even the odds now, a 2v2. Make it a T1 win as red floods the scoreboard. The hot hands come down at the end, but T1 say, hey, we're not done yet.
Orderus is gonna look. I mean, if you go back and look at the tape on this, he's gonna go back and watch the VOD and be very angry at not getting the kill right there at the end of the ult, and then not being able to get off the op shot too. Had a couple of different times where he saw the Cypher peeking, didn't get brax, and then ended up getting killed from that. I mean, that right there, we see those difference. With that, T1 makes the right play. Orderus can't make the plays and get the shots off that they needed to get off, and so then T1 takes the round. And now they're only down 3. They're only down 9-12 and making a thing of it. Dignitas, this guy, it's going to be a tough round for them because they're already at the gun disadvantage. That's a big shot right there by dephh getting AZK. And then Orderus getting one on brax there. I say they're at the disadvantage, but we've seen teams come back with when they're doing an eco round, and maybe Dignitas can win this map just on an eco round.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before. This is the stream of thrifty victories, and it's shaping out to be that way for Dignitas. T1 now need to come up huge. It only takes one shot from the op But as we've seen, it only takes one shot from the Sheriff, especially in the hands of dephh and Orderus as they hover over towards that A side. 3 members hanging out over there. This spike creeping up towards B. We've seen this play time and time again where that B retake is going to be huge. And the last time we saw it went in favor of Dignitas. And now they have a 2-player advantage. So I'm going to be holding this corner from a link. Once more, Sheriff in hand. Going to spot anybody crossing out. Does get the spot. Does not hit the shot as the op shot goes wide as well. So no kills to come through just yet as Orderus looking now to push up 26 HP. They can look to even the odds as Skadoodle is able to get one on the way out. Orderus is going to whiff a few shots, but Psalm was able to even the odds. T1. DaZeD trying to do what they can. DaZeD goes good for 2. Can he find some more? It's low HP. It's a shock dart on the spike. The kill to come through. The classic, he'll get away. And DaZeD again. A 4K. A clutch. And T1 are not out just yet. It was sloppy, but it doesn't matter how you get it done as long as you get it done.
If somehow T1 comes back and wins this map, every single one of DaZeD's teammates needs to be buying him dinner tonight, because he's had 2 rounds now where he's come up big and had just come up huge for his team and gotten multiple kills. That time dropping 4 to come up clutch for his team. That shock, the shock arrow right there on the spike was a huge play. Then getting the final kill. DaZeD coming up big for his team time and time again. And now T1's only down by 2 rounds. And I'm starting to wonder, are they going to start snowballing? Are they going to start rolling? And is Dignitas a little bit back on their heels thinking they had the victory in hand?
Yeah, and Valorant is that game of momentum. When your shots are on, typically they stay on. And right now, in the last 2 rounds, T1 have since figured it out. Now, dephh holding a tight angle here. It's no longer an operator on this A long angle. It is going to be this Vandal, and we'll see if that Killjoy can get anything done. So much utility to stop that push up towards short as well. As the flashes come through, it is going to be AZK right on top. dephh is flashed, and he's going to let that one go, and they didn't spot him out. This could be a very scary spot as they are going to split up towards A site. The shots come through, and they don't even have to worry about dephh just yet. DaZeD is able to trade it back. The smokes go down, and it's red and blue, but it's red for 3 and blue for 2. Now a 3v2 in favor of T1. As Dignitas look to retake here, Neural Theft goes out. That spike yet to be planted, still in the hands of MAKKA, or still in the hands of DaZeD, excuse me. As Spyder finds another kill, and it's all up supamen. We've seen him become a superstar. It is a 1v3. Half HP just about on 2 members. Now the spike gets planted. A lot of time to work with, but not a whole lot of room here stuck on this A site. As supamen gonna try and clear his corners, finds brax for 1, spots out DaZeD, needs to try and find Spyder as well. Spot Spyder down low, but he gets taken out through the wall. It's DaZeD to clutch it up again, and we are 1 round away from overtime. That was almost the Cinderella story of Cinderella stories. The 1v3 from supamen, stuck in heaven. They know where he's at. He almost gets it done, but unfortunately for Dignitas, T1 continue to push forward. I said they have to string 4 in a row, and they're 1 round away from doing that.
I love seeing DaZeD shutting down supamen right there. Like, no, there's only going to be one of us clutching it out for his team today, and that's going to be me. You can't one-up me right after I just did what I did a couple rounds ago. So I love seeing DaZeD do that, but T1, now they've got the momentum. They've got the guns. They've got the confidence. I mean, this game is all about the confidence to move forward and put pressure, and now T1's doing that, and Dignitas feels like a little bit of their confidence is pulled back some. I like seeing this from T1. I really would love to see them pull ahead and force the overtime. Dignitas needs to win this map, and there might be a little bit of pressure on them for that, because in map 2 going into Ascent, clearly T1 has the advantage. This was the map where the 2 of them were even, and it was going to be a big get if Dignitas could win map 1. So they need to pull it out here, or else it's going to be really difficult for them.
Yep, as that Hunter Shuri going to get used on this attacking side, trying to clear out through mid. Push up towards C. I'm going to be hanging out in the back of the site. Is Spyder taking his stance as Hunter Shuri's now traded out? They do spot him out, maybe take him down. No, the last shot going to go wide. So it's just low HP on the Omen, low HP on the Killjoy. It's a 5v5 across the board, and dephh is very low HP here at this point. Skadoodle going to find the first kill to kick things off on this site. Stopping the retake for now, but Orderus on the flank. The paranoia to go through. They're going to try and push through the cages. dephh with low HP is able to find one, able to find 2 into the back of the site. And Orderus on the flank. They completely wipe T1 off the board. The retake, they only lose 1, but Dignitas come up huge, and they cut that 50-50 out of the budget as they push ahead over a game 1 victory over T1.
I mean, honestly, I thought we were about to go to overtime. They pushed early. They were hyper aggressive. They got the spike down. It looked